Been joining us now from the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association. He's their CEO. And Dwayne, thanks for joining us. And I wanted to ask you right away about the 2012 Farm Bill. Certainly, I'm sure there's always some anxious feelings about that. What's going to be in there? What are we hoping to see? And what are some of the things being talked about?
Kevin, I think to start with, you have to look at the entire budget situation that the country's facing. And what we're hearing out of the House, the Senate, and even the administration is that there's going to be budget cuts. And there have already been some cuts to agriculture. And the Farm Bill, 2012 Farm Bill, will not escape this budget cutting as well.
All right, with that, obviously, there are some programs that are extremely helpful, certainly, and in some cases critical. And so, what are some of the things that you're hoping to see that will still stay in there, or at least not be impacted as severely as they could be?
Well, I think from the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association, we're looking at the commodity title pretty strongly, and we're in the back of our mind is the budget cutting atmosphere in Washington D.C. and we're looking at the current programs in the commodity title, and we're determining which ones are inefficient, which ones do we need to keep, and which ones can we reform. And starting off, even this spring in Ohio, we had that wet weather. Crop insurance was key. Revenue protection is key. And so those are the two components that we're going to be working really hard to strengthen, from crop insurance programs to revenue programs such as the ACRE, which is a risk management tool. And we're going to do that. We're going to reform the direct payments. And our organization and growers across the state are telling us we need to move away from the direct payment program that we currently have and farmers have been utilizing for the last couple farm bills, and move into revenue protection, risk management tools, and crop insurance.
All right, sounds like when you talked about crop insurance, I'm thinking right there something that we've seen over the last couple of years, critical. You just can't control the weather, and we've seen some extreme examples any which way possible, it seems, just over the last couple of years.
And I think that was really a big part of where farm programs or commodity programs started back in the 1930s was there's an element to farming that you can't control, and that's Mother Nature. We try to mitigate it as much as we can, but that's not always the case. And so having that protection to ensure crops are being grown each and every year is critical to the U.S. economy. It's critical for farmers as well. And so we felt that instead of looking at payments every year, whether a farmer needs them or not, in the case of direct payments, we need to transition those direct payments, reduce the deficit, but also strengthen that crop insurance tool, the risk management tools that farmers have today, and new risk management tools that may be coming up with discussions that we see within the next year.
And you did say, within the next year, obviously, the Farm Bill, certainly not going to be tomorrow. Lots of time to talk about it. And I'm sure you would probably feel that that's good. It's not something that should be rushed. It should be discussed thoroughly, get the lawmakers to know, what's on the farmers' minds about what they're hoping to see in this Farm Bill.
Absolutely. It's not something that is going to be talked about every year. It's not going to take place next week. We are hearing indications from Chairman Lucas in the House, Chairwoman Stabenow in the Senate, that they are going to have hearings throughout 2011, and they want to have this done by the presidential election in 2012. So, it seems like a long way off, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Our organization is in D.C. We have growers calling members of Congress. We work closely with Senator Brown and the Senate Ag Committee, Bob Gibbs, Gene Schmidt, and on the House Ag Committee. So Ohio is in a critical place to make a difference. With the Speaker, with Jim Jordan, chair of the Republican Study Committee, there's a lot of influence in Ohio, and so it's imperative that farmers talk to organizations and talk to members of Congress to make sure that their voice is heard.
All right, and where would you point them, to get some more information, some websites they can go to, even people they can call?
Sure. I'd point them to our website. It's www.ohiocornandwheat.org. It's a good resource. We have a lot of Farm Bill materials on there. Our national organizations, National Corn Growers, NCGA.com, National Association of Wheat Growers, it's wheatworld.org. So there's a lot of different factors. One of the preeminent Farm Bill experts that we work with quite a bit is Dr. Carl Zuloff at Ohio State. I'm sure Dr. Zuloff wouldn't mind hearing from farmers as well. It helps him develop his plans that we work with.